Hello, and welcome to It Came from the Unknowns, a weekly sci-fi, horror, short story podcast featuring new, upcoming, or unheard of authors, hosted and narrated by yours truly, Ryan Barella. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown. Hello, and welcome to episode 6. The first in our holiday series for this month. Hopefully we can keep it running throughout the whole month of December. If you've got a fun or weird sci-fi, fantasy, horror, something holiday themed, send it to itcamefromtheunknowns@gmail.com and we will get you lined up for this month of December. We've got a few spots still open, so send me what you got. Today's story is Elf Hell by Mikel Chavez, narrated by yours truly, Ryan Barella. For more than 40 years, Mike the Bear, Mikel Chavez, has been working in several aspects of radio broadcasting and voiceover. Currently, Mike is the operations manager at Bicoastal Media in Coos Bay, Oregon, which operates 9 radio stations in the market. Before that, Mike was the general manager of KDCQ FM in North Bend, Oregon, and the OM for 16 years. In 2023, Bicoastal Media purchased KDCQ and moved the operation to Coos Bay. Mike's studio uses top-quality equipment and edits on Adobe Audition program. Mike also enjoys writing short science fiction and horror stories. If you need voiceover, spots, voice track, or narration, get a hold of Mike at MikeTheBear2025@gmail.com. So we're just going to jump in right here and get into Elf Hell by Mikel Chavez. If you do like what you hear and you'd like to support us, feel free to check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/itcamefromtheunknowns. If you'd like to submit a story, please email me your story in PDF form or link, along with your name and brief bio to itcamefromtheunknowns@gmail.com. For now, get cozy, turn down your lights where applicable, and let's prepare to take a journey into the unknowns. Elf Hell by Mikel J. Chavez, 12/25/20. Sundown came early in the Arctic Circle, sliding over the snow like a warning. The workshop lanterns flickered. A hush settled over Santa's village, the kind that made even the wind hold its breath. Every 100 years, the elves marked this night on secret calendars carved into ancient ice. They never spoke of it around children. They never spoke of it around humans at all. The night of rebirth. Normally, elves were cheerful, bright-eyed, and endlessly helpful. But deep in their lineage, older than Christmas itself, lived something far darker, a curse, a hunger. And every century, when the auras shifted just the wrong shade of red, a handful of elves would revert to their ancestral form between sundown and sunup. They became twisted, sharp-toothed, fast as blizzards, and cruel as winter starvation. Santa had learned to prepare. He'd built containment halls deep beneath the reindeer stables, reinforced with blessed oak and runes old enough to predate Christmas time. Any elf who began showing signs, a tremor, a fever, pupils narrowing like a wolf's, was guided gently below until dawn. Most years it worked. Most centuries, the damage was minimal. But this time, something went wrong. It started with Grindel, a sweet, tiny elf who baked gingerbread wreaths and cried during snowflake ceremonies. Just before sundown, he felt a sting in his skin, like frozen needles under his fingernails. He hurried toward the containment hall, but he didn't make it. Something in the shadows moved faster. A shape leapt from behind a toy crate, a growl, a flash of jagged teeth. Grindel screamed. By the time he staggered back into the main workshop, clutching his arm, the bite had already begun its work. His eyes darkened, his smile cracked. When he lifted his head, his voice came out as a broken hiss. Too late. He attacked the nearest elf. A scratch was all it took. A bite was worse. Within minutes, 2 elves had turned, then 4, then 12. Santa's emergency bells rang, echoing through the frozen rafters. Workers scrambled, dragging barricades, locking doors, herding reindeer into safety pens. Mrs. Claus shouted orders as she pushed trembling elves toward escape tunnels, but the turned ones moved like shadows that cut back. They climbed the walls. They broke through the wooden beams with unnatural strength. Containment had failed. By moonrise, the entire north end of the village was lost. Sleighs smashed, candy cane lampposts bent like twisted ribs, laughter replaced with shrieks that didn't sound entirely elven anymore. The infection spread faster than Santa had ever seen. Almost half the workshop was prowling on all fours, hunting anything that still breathed. And Christmas Eve was one night away. In the center of the chaos, Santa stood in the snow, shoulders shaking, not from fear, but from heartbreak. These were his elves, his family. He'd raised them, worked beside them, sung with them through centuries of joy. Watching them become monsters tore him apart. But Santa Claus did not quit, not even in hell. He marched into the storm, boots thudding like war drums. From his coat he drew an ancient staff he kept hidden from the world, a staff carved from the world tree itself, etched with runes that glowed icy blue. With every step, the air trembled. Santa spoke one word. A word older than Christmas, older than elves, a world that cracked the sky with light. The aura above erupted. Green and white flames spilled across the darkness, pouring down like celestial snow. It washed over the village, sweeping through the shadows, blistering against the howls of the turned elves. They screeched as the magic hit them. Their limbs twisted, their teeth chattered, their dark spell buckled. One by one they collapsed into the snow, shaking violently. It wasn't enough to cure them, not yet, but it froze the transformation, kept them in a kind of suspended twilight. Not monsters, but not fully themselves either. It bought Santa time. Dawn broke. As the first line of sun crept over the horizon, the elves gasped and convulsed. Their features softened, their eyes turned warm again. Those who hadn't been infected emerged from hiding, rushing toward their fallen friends with blanket and cocoa and terrified relief. By full daylight, the curse was gone. By afternoon, the workshop was buzzing again, cleaning, repairing, rebuilding. Santa worked beside them, slower than usual, more solemn, but steady. He wouldn't let this century's rebirth stop Christmas. Not now, not ever. And on Christmas Eve, as the sleigh lifted into the icy sky, Santa looked down over the village. Battered, scorched, but alive. The elves waved up at him, whole again, smiling as though the nightmares of the night before had melted with the morning frost. All was well. But somewhere, deep beneath the ice, in a forgotten cavern where the oars couldn't reach, something stirred. A single, dark, elven eye blinked open, waiting for the next century, for the next rebirth, for the next elf hell. Welcome back. You're just listening to Elf Hell by Mikel Chavez, narrated by yours truly, Ryan Barella. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed reading it. That was definitely a creepy take on the little elves there. Kind of makes you wonder when the next 100 years is supposed to be due. If you enjoyed that and you want to contribute, you have a holiday tale to tell, something weird, something fantastical, sci-fi, horror, fantasy, anything within those kinds of genres, send it on in and let's get you on for this month. Be sure to join us next week for more holiday tales of the weird and strange. Again, if you enjoyed this and want to help support, you can check us out over on Patreon at patreon.com/itcamefromtheunknowns. We have a digital subscription where you can also get an ebook of the stories for each month, as well as a t-shirt subscription which will feature each month's cover. It's a great way to look fashionable and support upcoming authors. Got a sci-fi or horror short story you want to hear narrated out for the whole world? Email me your story in PDF form or link, along with your name and brief bio to itcamefromtheunknowns @gmail.com. Thank you again for taking the time to check out It Came From the Unknowns, a weekly sci-fi horror short story podcast featuring new, upcoming, or unheard of authors, hosted and narrated by yours truly, Ryan Barella. I'll leave you now with one of my favorite lines. It goes, "Let us say then that my listeners are an uncommon herd." Stay weird, everyone.